Today we are going to cover the topic our changing earth. So here you are going to get the full explanation of the chapter. So let us start. First point is the lithospheric plates. So the lithosphere is broken into a number of plates known as lithospheric plates. Now what is lithosphere? So the lithosphere is the rigid outer part of the earth, right? It is consist of crust and upper mantle. So this lithosphere is broken into a number of plates and known as lithospheric plates. Now these plates move around very slowly. So their movement is very slow. Just a few millimeters each year. So they used to move very few millimeters every year. Because, now what is the reason behind it? Because the molten magma inside the earth moves in a circular manner. So the magma is there inside the earth and that used to move in a circular manner. That's why these plates move very slowly, just a few millimeters each year. The movement of this plate causes changes on the surface of the earth. So due to this movement of this plate, what happened? We have seen some changes on the surface of the earth. Now these changes are internal also and external also. The earth movements are divided on the basis of the forces which cause them. So due to these forces, we will see some external and internal changes. So let us first try to understand these forces. The first one is the endogenic force, that is the internal force, and the next one is the exogenic force. See here, earth movement, two forces are there, endogenic and exogenic. So due to the endogenic force, we will see some sudden forces and some diastrophic forces also. Sudden forces, here we will get the example like the earthquake, volcano and landslide. Now what is diastrophic force? That is tectonism, the internal forces within the earth that cause deformation of earth crust. Okay, and here we are going to find the examples like the folding, faulting and the building of the mountains. Exogenic force, here we will see some erosional and depositional like the river, wind, sea waves and glacier. So this is the evolution of landform. Let us continue. Now the forces causes changing on earth. So due to this force, we will see some changes on the earth. So the first one is the endogenic force, that is the internal force. So these forces originate inside the earth and cause sudden and slow movement. Okay, so due to this what happened? We will see some sudden and slow movement in the internal of the earth. So due to the sudden movement, we will see the result on the earth, that is the earthquake, volcanic eruptions, landslide and tsunamis. So these are sudden movements. And in the slow movement, that is the mountain formation and continental drift. Okay, so this is the internal force. Now here we will also see volcanic eruptions. Volcano is there, right? Now what is that? See here. So a volcanic eruption occurs when magma, this is the magma here. So when the magma, gases and ash escape from beneath the earth crust, from this earth crust through an opening called the volcano. So from here it will come here and then just come out. This happened due to the build-up of pressure inside the earth mantle. And now why does it happen? Whenever the pressure is built inside the earth mantle, now this the magma used to just come out from a vent, okay, and this is called as volcano eruption. See here, vent is there and this is the lava crater and the gases and ashes are there, right? So this is the volcanic eruption. Now we have seen earthquake also. Similarly, when the lithospheric plates move, the surface of the earth vibrates. Whenever these plates move, what happens? We will see the vibration in the earth. The vibration can travel all around the earth and these vibrations are called earthquake. So the vibration that we feel, it can travel all around the earth and these vibrations are called earthquakes. The place in the crust where the movement starts is called the focus. See here. Here this is the focus. This is where the earthquake occurs and it is the origin of the seismic energy. The place on the surface above the focus is called the epicenter. Okay, so here this is the above the focus is the epicenter. Vibration travel outwards from the epicenter as waves. Okay, so from the epicenter what happened? These vibrations used to travel outward. Okay, seismic wave radiate out in all direction. Greatest damage is usually closest to the epicenter. So it means, so near this area, wherever the epicenter will be there, we will find a lot of damages here. And the strength of earthquake decrease away from the center. So that it means from here, this side, we will see less destruction, right? And here, close to epicenter, we will find a lot of destruction due to earthquake. So this is the origin of an earthquake, right? And volcanic eruption and earthquake are the sudden movement, and they are done due to the internal forces, right? That forces originate inside the earth and cause sudden movement. Okay, so this is earthquake. Now let us see exogenic force. That is the second one, external force. These forces work on the earth's surface and cause weathering and erosion. Okay, so here we will see some external forces are working on the earth's surface, and due to this weathering and erosions are there. Now what is weathering? The breaking of rocks into smaller pieces by wind, water or temperature is called weathering. And erosion, the wearing away of earth's surface by natural agents like the river, wind, glaciers and sea waves, that is called erosion. Now due to this weathering and erosion, we will find some major landforms are created. Okay, now let us see that one also. Major landform created by forces. The process of erosion and deposition create different landforms on the surface of the earth. So if it is erosion also, then we will see some different type of landforms, and deposition also bring different types of landform. First we will see the work of a river. So river erode, transport and deposit sediment, further shaping the land. So what happened? Rivers, we see the erosion is also there, transportation is also there, and deposition of sediments is also there. Further it shape the land. Erosion by rivers. So whenever erosion by river is there, it create landforms like the valley, waterfall, meanders and the gorges. And if deposition are there by the river, then we will see formation of floodplains and deltas. So let us try to understand this one also. Now what is a waterfall? See here, waterfall is there. When the river tumbles at a steep angle over very hard rocks or down a steep valley side, it forms a waterfall. So this is a waterfall. It is hard rock and the soft rock undercut by the power of water. So when the river tumbles, see here, from here to here, tumble at a steep angle over very hard rock or down a steep valley side, it forms a waterfall. So this is waterfall. It is a work of a river, that is the erosion by river. Now meanders. As the river entered the plain, it twists and turns. See here, it twists and turns, forming large bends known as meanders. So whenever the bend is there here, that is known as meanders. These are the features made by the river in a floodplain. Now here we will see Ox Bow Lake is also there. So due to the continuous erosion and deposition along the sides of the meander, the end of the meander loop come closer and closer. And in due course of time, the meander loop cuts off from the river. See, it is cuts off from the river and forms a cut-off lake, also called as Ox Bow Lake or Ox Bow Lake. Okay. So what happened? So in due course of time, this meander cut off from the main river and forming a oxbow lake structure, and this is known as oxbow lake. After that we will see floodplain. Here, this is the floodplain area. At times the river overflow its bank. This lead to the flooding of the neighboring areas. As it floods, it deposits layer of fine soil and other material called sediments along its bank. And this leads to the formation of a flat fertile land that is called as flood plain. Okay, so this is flood plain. Now here we will see the leaves also, that is the raised banks are called leaves. Okay. This is the raised bank that is known as leaves. Now delta. What is a delta? Let us see. The river, as the river approaches the sea, the speed of flowing water decreases and river begins to break up into a number of streams called distributaries. See here. Here they are divided, the main river is divided into small streams, okay, and that is known as distributaries. The river becomes so slow that it begins to deposit its load. So you see here, it begins to deposit its load. The collection of the sediments from all the mouth forms a delta, and whenever all these sediments are deposited in an area, then that area is known as delta. Okay. Now let us see the work of a river. Here we are seeing the major landform created by the forces. The first we have seen the work of a river. Now we will see the work of a sea waves. The erosion and deposition of sea waves give rise to coastal landform. And erosion by sea waves we will see create coastal rocks forming cliffs, caves and arches. Deposition by sea waves forms beaches and sandbar. So here due to the deposition of erosion we will see the cliffs, the caves and the arches, and here due to the deposition by the sea waves we will see the beaches and the sandbars. Okay, erosion and deposition both are different here. Now what is sea caves? Sea waves strike at the rock and crack develop. See here. Sea waves just strike at the rock and a crack develop. Now this crack over a time period became larger and wider. Thus hollow-like caves are formed on the rocks and they are called the sea caves. See here, a hollow-like structure has been formed over a time and period and this is known as sea caves. Okay. Now sea arc. Here is an arc shape is there, right? What is sea arc? As these cavities became bigger and bigger, only the roof of the caves remained, thus forming sea arc. So here the roof of the cave is remaining, so that's why it is forming a shape of an arc also. So it is known as sea arc. Stacks. This is the stack. Further erosion breaks the roof and only walls are left. These wall-like features are called stacks. So due to the erosion what happened? The roof and the only walls are left and this is called as the stack. So this is the features made by the sea wave. Here we have seen sea cave, sea arc and stack. Okay. Now apart from it we will also see sea cliff. So this is the sea cliff. The steep rocky coast rising almost vertically above sea water is called the sea cliff. So this is the rocky coast rising vertically above sea water is called the sea cliff. Okay. And the beaches, that is beaches are also there, that is a work of a river. So the sea waves deposit sediments along the shore forming the beaches. Whenever the sea waves deposit sediments it forms the beach. Okay. So this is about the work of a river. Now let us see the work of ice. Glaciers are river of ice. Glaciers are also known as river of ice, which too erode the landscape by bulldozing soil and stones to expose the solid rock below. What happened? This glacier erode the landscape and bring the soil and stone to expose the solid rock below. Glaciers carve out deep hollows there and as the ice melt, they get filled up with water and became beautiful lakes in the mountains. So in this way the lakes and mountains are formed. Now these glaciers carve out deep hollows there and as the ice melt, what happened? They get filled with the water and it become a beautiful lakes and the mountain. The material carried by the glacier such as rocks, big and small, sand and slit get deposited and this deposit form glacier moraines. So the material carried by the glaciers such as the rocks, either it may be big and small and the sand and the slit are there, they get deposit and this deposit is known as glacial moraines. Okay, so this is glacial moraines. Now finally we will see the work of wind, that is as a major landform created by the force. So here wind erodes and deposits sand especially in desert. An important landform they are formed are mushroom rocks. These rocks shaped by the wind erosion, and sand dunes, that is the hill of sand formed by the wind deposition. And loss. When the grains of sand are very fine and light, the wind can carry it over very long distance. When such sand is deposited in large areas, it is called loss, and large deposit of loss is found in China. So basically this is the work of the wind where the erosion and deposition of sand is seen especially in desert, isn't it? So these are the major landform created by the forces, and here we have seen the work of a river, the work of ice, the work of wind, and the work of sea waves, isn't it? So these are our changing earth that we have seen, the earth movements, endogenic forces and the exogenic force, and how these forces, due to these sudden forces also are there, earthquake and volcanoes, and then erosion and deposition where you have seen river, wind, sea waves and glaciers, and how different landforms are formed. So this much today.